What's up everybody, welcome back to another build video. Last time we used the Imperial Patrol Trooper and made this beauty. But for this week I had something different in mind. Let's head over to the minifig wall and pick out a figure. Tan Wee. I think that's how you say your name. You know what this means. There's only one MOC I can think of. Kamino it is. I'm going to try and show you as much of the process as possible so you can see how I made it, but also if you wanted to try yourself at home. I will have PDF instructions pop up here and there throughout the video, so keep an eye out for that. And I'll also be sure to show you some of the general parts that I used. Alright, first things first, we're going to make the towers. First, I'm going to start off by making some of the gaps that are going to go in between the sections where the snot bricks are going to be. So for this is where you're going to connect the siding and everything like that. And also after each kind of like little build segment, I'm going to have the PDF instructions pop up. So stay tuned for that. But in case you wanted to see like the actual building process, here you go. Now just make this a whole bunch of times, as many times as you want. And now for the side panels. This is just a 4x6 plate with two 1x6s on either side. We got some jumpers in the middle there with some plates on in between. And you don't have to use the single ones, you can use the double ones too. I just thought the single ones look good, and I have a whole bunch of them from the pad wall. This is super important though. Only one black 1x6 is going to go on the side here. You'll see in a minute why that is. And these 1x2 plates will just kind of go in the middle there. And don't forget to add two 2x6s on the back. This will just pop it out from the center a little bit, just so everything kind of fits nice and flush. Now when you connect these, you're gonna do it to where the 1x6 is on the same side, I guess, as you go around. Once you put it together, you'll understand, because they don't really go together too well. But yeah, just continue on up the tower. Very simple. This is the finished tower that you'll end up with. And again, you can go as high as you want. And here are the PDF instructions. Alright, so this is going to be the second version of a tower. This is just going to require some 1x2 slopes or 2x2 slopes with the grill piece on top. And you're going to do the same snot kind of technique as before, but it's only going to be one plate in between them, just to give it a little bit of a gap, but it looks pretty good. Alright, this is where it gets kind of crazy. So I have a whole bunch of these parts that I got from the pad wall a while ago. So I just used those to create a circle. As you can see here, this is where I'm going to be covering it with the inverted slopes. I didn't really show how to make the frame too much, but it's a lot of snot bricks that are holding together, you know, the plates and stuff like that. That way, if I wanted to on the bottom, I could tile it off, but you don't really see it, so I didn't even bother tiling it off. But this just added a bunch more connections for if I wanted to make the siding deeper, which I did in fact do later on in the video. And then for this, I'm just adding some siding. It's going to help the transition from the floor to the wall. It's going to cover up any gaps or anything in between. But yeah, just adding bricks where I can. And as you can see, there's a gap in between here, which I'm going to cover up with some slope parts. I ran out of these 1x2 slopes, but I figured I could use some other stuff, so I did. There were a couple like arches and stuff in there, but now we're going to plate off the bottom of it. It doesn't matter what color you use because we're just going to end up tiling this off anyways. The gap you see there is going to be for the walkway, which I'll do later. But yeah, just cover as much as you possibly can. But again, we're going to tile it off later anyways. All right, now for the fun part, tiling. Each platform has kind of like this little square or rectangle in the middle there. So I did that in dark gray, and then I just covered it in light gray. Now to add back in this transition piece. And so far, so good. Definitely some suds I need to take care of. But overall, the shape is looking great. For this, I wanted to modify Obi-Wan's starship, so I basically just filled in some gaps and tiled it off and stuff like that. Very simple thing to do. And then in this time lapse, I'm working on the walkway that's going to be underneath. Basically, it's a 10 wide, I believe, walkway, and I just added some of the sand blue in between there in like little 4x4 squares. I know the sides are supposed to be rounded and stuff like that. I didn't have the parts for that, so I just made it square. Nothing too fancy, but it does the job. And for this, I'm going to do some antennas or towers or whatever you want to call them. They are found kind of all over Kamino on platforms and stuff like that. So I just want to add something there. But now we're on the home stretch and we're just doing all the water at the bottom. Nothing fancy. Going to add some waves and stuff like that. But other than that, just tiling it all off. And just to give you kind of like a look at the underside and what I did and stuff like that, just in case you were curious. I know I didn't film as much as I said I would, but I think you get the gist. Oh, I almost forgot to show you. My favorite part about this build is that you can turn it upside down. Oh no!
Don't do it to me. I beg you. No.
Definitely the most complex part of this build was this circular structure, but I think it did a pretty good job. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Luckily, I was able to make it pretty sturdy, so yeah, that's not too bad. It kind of came apart there, yikes. If you have any mock suggestions for future videos, leave them down in the comment section down below. But thank you so much for staying to the end of the video. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe and so you're notified for future uploads and everything like that. And then if you want to see some of my past uploads, here you go. Here's a nice little playlist right here of my past mocks for you to binge. But other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.
You fit, baby. Nice job.